Hey guys, Jacob here. Before I start on this saying I'm gonna do, I just want to point out, I don't know if you can see it, but I accidentally cut my finger last week. Not last week, but I cut my finger yesterday, and it hurts. I was long story short, whatever you do not print make. But enough of my high school drama. I love art, but I really hate printmaking. Um, well, today, I'm going to talk about some. I actually tried to record this video last night, but I ran out of battery. You know what I mean. So, I've been thinking lately. I've been thinking about my. I've been thinking about my video I loaded up. Excuse me. What was the cartoon buff? And basically, and just in case anybody don't know, the cartoon buff is this character I play once in a while. Well, basically, I've been thinking about the video I made. I said I love rock and I love to study rock, and I love to study controversial genres, and I said rock is probably the most controversial genre out there. And I said, heck, most mothers do complain about it. What they do, and fathers too. But the, but what I've been thinking lately, is that even prevalent today? Like, is rock even really controversial today? Well, we gotta think about something here. Let's go back a little bit. Rock started where else? In the 50s. Well, what happened was basically the music business was going down at that time, and what came about was rock and roll. What started out as was like a mixture of sort of hillbilly music, blues, jazz. So many don't want to think it so, but jazz is a big part of rock and roll, believe it or not. Swing. So, so basically, and after the 50s died out, came the 60s. What were sort of at first like a 50s, but came, of course, Bob Dylan. Afterwards, the Beatles. You get the Doors. In the 70s, rock sort of died out a little bit because everybody was going to the social, knowing what came punk rock. And after that, people made in the underground punk rock. Originally did start in the 60s with people like the Bob Underground, and all that, and Iggy Pop and all that. But later came the Ramones, and actually, I had a punk band that so many people don't know called Death. If no one's seen the documentary called The Band Named Death, I really, really do advise you to go check it out. It's a really good documentary. It's called The Band Named Death. It's a really good. It's actually a really cool band. I actually check out some of their albums on YouTube. So basically, I've been thinking, all these genres, rockabilly, um, rock and well, I guess you could say rockabilly is rock and roll, but you get what I mean. 60s rock and roll, 70s punk rock. They're all rock and roll, but they both had their own share of controversy. In the 90s, grunge came on. They had some controversy in there. Now, it seems more like hip hop is more a big controversy. So, I need to think, is it going to be that band someday where they're going to bring rock and roll back to its roots, I guess you could say, where parents are going to be freaking out? And I'm not saying, oh, we need controversial bands. In many ways, I am. I'm saying more, we need art. You get what I mean? We truly need some type of art. Because, let's face it, guys, the music industry sucks nowadays. You know, but it's always what have been. That's why they're doing things like, underground nowadays. Now, The only really band I can think of it's an underground band, but sort of controversial. Not so many people. Very people knows of them. Not so many
Barely
people do.
any.
Very any. Thank you, Van. I have a bad speech impediment, so I'm sorry, guys. You hear some errors in this videos. So I've been and the band is called Dope Body. By the way, if you never heard of them, and if you're a rock fan, again, I advise you to go check them out. Now, if anyone hears the word Dope Body, and if you're more used to older bands or even the newer stuff, what they pull out nowadays, you would think people forget when they do. Every time I would say things to my family and my friends, and they ask, "What's my favorite band?" I list off a lot of my favorite bands, and basically, Dope Body will come in the mix, and they'll freak out. Does that sound familiar? Sort of like how when people used to say Elvis or the Beatles or even the Sex Pistols, but I guess it's more of a comparison. People freak out. So I guess rock does have some controversy left, but is it really enough though? I mean, guys, think about it for a second. Is rock now? Is rock even needed these days? Like, I mean, even jazz and the blues that are controversial. You know, even comic books, believe it or not, was controversial. But that's a whole different story. I actually may make a video about that, actually. But the whole thing is anything like you have to think about something here. Let me show you something. I'm a collector because I'm sort of a nerd, to be honest. This is a Blue 9. I used to use it on my hair a lot. It's refilled water, but it still sort of works. If you can see that, pompadours in rock and roll used to be really controversial. Mohawks was pretty controversial. You know, curling you up your hair because you can look like the Beatles was controversial. What else, do we even have a share a controversial? And I'm not saying rock and roll needs to have a certain style either. I'm trying to say, it's do rock and roll really have that thing they used to have? You get what I mean? The only thing I can think of what had that there today is what I say, Dope Body. What makes sense because not so many people know about them. And the only dope in body they heard is basically people took a lot of dope. Nobody thinks of a band, but, when I say the word dope body, and heck, even the older bands, if no one heard the name Sex Pistols, they're going to think of something else. And I'm not saying rock and roll artists has to call their names really odd names to get where they have to get. But I'm trying to say, is controversy changed? It's a really interesting subject, actually. And, I mean, like, is it because our country has been more civilized where nothing really scares them anymore? Because me personally, myself, I'm not a bad kid, really. If anyone asks, I'm pretty much a goody goody, I guess, to be honest. I try. I try to be good, anyways. I don't really to be the mean person, but at the same time, I try to find something what are my own. You get what I mean? Where not a lot of people, because even though people say I'm a pretty likable guy, and I can sort of see why. I guess I still have things where people find me complicated. Does that make sense? Like, to make friends with somebody, they have to sort of like I always say, I can't make friends with people. They have to sort of make friends with me because I have these really weird interests, and it comes naturally. You get what I mean? I'm not like any other kids. I'm more comfortable with talking to grown-ups than I am with people my own age because of, because I like music, and sometimes I'll even get into politics if they like to, you know. So I try to find music what would fit me. And I found some. I found Dope Body. I found Lightning Bolt. If you never listened to them, again, Lightning Bolt is awesome. I'm new bands you can look up, people. Um, you know, so in us, that's pretty much what I want to start it. Believe it or not, people were looking for new things back in the 50s because all they had was these really boring jazz. And jazz is not boring. I mean like really boring 50s jazz. That's what I'm talking about. Like, you know, that sweep crap. Or not jazz is boring. You know. You know, when people like Elvis and everybody else came out, they freaked out. You know. When people like the Beatles came out in the 60s, parents freaked out. You know, when people like Red Zeppelin came out, they freak out. Black Sabbath, they freaked out. You know, it's weird. It's heck. Even when Marilyn Manson came out, they freaked out. It's. I mean, does rock and roll even have the edge anymore? I guess. And I'm sorry if this video is dragging on, but basically, it's all I'm asking, Lily. I mean, does anybody even know? Like, can you guys even think of a modern day artist, I guess? I mean, I'm just asking, because rock and roll, I don't even know if rock and roll is even important to this generation anymore. I mean, don't get me wrong, me, myself, I'm really open to different types of music, not just rock and roll. But I love rock and roll. I would say it is my favorite genre out of anything. I listen to rock and roll, Heck, I even listen to 50s rock. you know. I don't really consider Elvis to be too much of a king. I mean, really, I think that should have went to people like Chuck Berry or, like Little Richard or something like that. But that's just my opinion. But, I listen to Elvis. He's pretty good stuff. I mean, I guess you could say he's a little bit outdated now, and he didn't really like his own songs, but I like the Monkees too, so what can I say? You know, but where is that shock value? You get what I mean? And I'm not saying every decision needs to have a shock value. I'm just saying, you know, you know, it's just maybe I'm just getting old. I don't know. I don't know. But Jacob here and just saying goodbye. You know. But yeah, it's walking more controversial enough. I don't know. If anyone knows, tell me. I don't know. But that's just me, and yeah, bye.